everyone. Welcome to another edition of Monday Crypto Tips Live. My name's Heidi, and
I'm anonymous.
What?
Just kidding. I'm Toby.
It's Toby.
Here to just whatever.
Hey guys, welcome to another live stream event. We have a ton to talk about, but first, I do want to address.
Going to the moon?
Yeah, but
Bitcoin
more.
Go to the moon?
Yes, moons all over the place. Okay. But more seriously, Truth Seeker here in the live chat, he's really telling us something that happened to him recently. Really unfortunately, he had a blockchain.com wallet, and it had been hacked somehow. He was really not sure how. Definitely suggest that you reach out to the blockchain.com team and see if they can help you figure out exactly what happened. But it looks like it might have been a hack within your SIM card. Somehow that's, when you're talking about two-factor authentication and how you can secure your wallets, I believe it's far more safe to use things like the Google Authenticator app or the Authy app. These are codes that are generated every 15 seconds, and when you're using an SMS type two-factor authentication, means it's a text message that gets sent to your phone. Your phone number is actually pretty easy to be hacked and mimicked, your phone number. So someone else could be intercepting those codes and use that to access your wallet. I'm really sorry again what happened to you. Obviously, you're saving a lot of money and it's just all gone. So anyway. Definitely a cautionary tale for everyone in this crypto space. And there's going to be more as well because more people are coming in. So
there's going to be a lot of clever hackers out there.
Yeah. And check out some hardware wallets as well. I think those are definitely worthwhile.
Yeah. So even if you get a message in your inbox or wherever you're getting messages and it seems just a little strange and it doesn't have your name or whatever on it, make sure that you contact that person another way and discuss whether or not they had sent that message.
Yeah. Actually, there's an article here talking about blockchain.com had people who were, imitating their company and fooling people into, giving away their private keys or their login information for whatever reason through emails, basically. So if you're ever skeptical, which you probably should be, reach out through the professional and official communications for those platforms. Pivotal Point, thank you so much for that tip.
Dang,
what a great way to
Thank
kick off this live stream.
We really appreciate it.
Let's see if we can't get the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum
Sweet gains
pumping.
last week? Oh, well, I think we're going to have continually sweet gains coming up.
Definitely.
For sure.
We're going to cover why, that's sure. Hey, Jules, glad you made it here. And Truth Seeker, wishing you all the best. I'm really sorry you're going through that. Dragon Ball Crypto. Toby's ready to rob you.
I'm not ready to rob anybody.
No.
Okay,
so let's talk about this. So Bitcoin is already, talking about the halving event. They're always really pretty hyped up because of what's going to happen with the price afterward. Bitcoin's already outperforming the halving that sparked the $20,000 all-time high in 2017. So, it's just more fuel to the fire, really, and everything that we've been saying anyway about our projections for this next bull run.
Yep.
So
it's just going to keep on going.
Yeah.
Wait till 20 grand.
Yeah.
And then, we're having people contacting us from
so many people.
High school.
Yes.
To,
out of the woodwork.
And I'm like, wow, here we go again. People don't like cheaper prices. They want really expensive prices, even though this isn't that expensive compared to what it will be.
It's especially because usually, now from my experience, the people that are reaching out are people who are already aware of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. A lot of people became aware of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies after 2017. Because what we're going to talk about is this whole idea of Bitcoin becoming a $1 trillion asset, talking about its market cap reaching that $1 trillion mark. And what was fueling, what's different from this bull run to the next one and why it has so much more potential than the last one is that institutional investors are in. And the last bull run in 2017, 2018 was really fueled by retail investors just normal people, not these huge institutions like Fidelity, like MicroStrategy, mom and pop offices, you know. So
and that's why Bitcoin rose so fast back then.
Yeah.
From what was it, 1,000 to 20,000, pretty much 20,000
within a year.
Yeah, so that's why it rose so fast, because people are just piling and they didn't really care. Whereas these guys from MicroStrategy, from these billion-dollar companies and billionaires, that they know how to buy without having to spike the price,
like over the counter
manipulate whatever they have to do to get it. So.
Let's talk about this article here. It says the Bitcoin price has added almost 50% this month, shooting towards its all-time high of around $20,000 per Bitcoin and pushing its market cap briefly over $350 billion, spurred on by a wave of institutional interest in Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin would have to, for it to have a $1 trillion market cap, that means the price of one Bitcoin would be $50,000. And they're saying $20,000 Bitcoin is the primary hurdle toward the 1 trillion market cap. So because it was the last high, after that, I mean, who else is going to be optimistic? Like, who's not going to be optimistic at that point?
Yeah, I mean,
from 20 to 50.
I can't see, just myself, seeing a lot of people wanting to get rid of Bitcoin, especially what's happening around the world. I mean, you're having people that are, with the global reset, the CBDCs, you have all these central banks around the world printing. Who's going to want to get rid of their Bitcoin? It's literally it's the only scarce asset that we really know provably scarce. Yeah. Gold and silver, whatever. They can find the mother lode someday and just go, oh, well, here's, 100 million tons or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and it's digital.
And it's digital.
Very relevant in today's day and age.
Yeah. So I don't see, hey, we made a Patreon post about, what was it, last week or something like that, when I sold my silver.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
I sold my silver 2 weeks ago, made it on Patreon, and that was a really good investment.
Yeah.
Put it all into pretty much ETH and a little bit of Bitcoin. So.
Yeah. And so were our recent trades as well, going into Ethereum.
Amazing.
But let's see.
PayPal.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. So talking about scarcity, right? Morgan Creek Capital CEO says that he's talking about the scarcity of Bitcoin and what's really supporting this next bull run. And he talks about it as programmable money. Currencies are volatile in their beginning, yada, yada, yada. But this is the best part of this whole. He was asked what would happen to Bitcoin once its maximum supply has been mined. Would it then be priced as a rare collectible? And he said, the best performing asset over the last decade is not stocks, not even Bitcoin. It's actually collectible Porsches, because there's only 3 guys in the world who want to buy them. Jerry Seinfeld, Jay Leno, and John Shirley. Now think about, that's like 3 guys right there is supporting the best performing asset over the last decade. Imagine when Bitcoin is even more scarce than that, and there is institutional investors, retail investors, everyone and their mother wants to buy it. What is that going to do with the price of Bitcoin?
Well, that's the thing. What's going to be left? Because a lot of this, I think it's PayPal. They're buying up 80% of the mined Bitcoin, 70 to 80% of the mined Bitcoin.
Brand new Bitcoin.
Yeah, brand new Bitcoin. And then I forgot who else is doing the rest. So, I mean, there goes all the mined Bitcoin. And that's just these 2 companies. So what's going to happen when, the whole world's going to want this? And it's being, a lot of this is going to be put in cold storage. So, I mean, people say, oh, yeah, there's going to be huge correction.
Maybe. But they're not buying it.
I don't know.
They're not. I think the difference here is that in 2017, people were buying it just to speculate on it. This time, people are buying it as their reserve asset. Now imagine these companies who are, still profitable companies. They're still working and earning a profit, but at the same time, they also have this asset sitting in their vaults that is appreciating like crazy. That's going to give them a whole lot of confidence. And I mean, it's not like they're broke. You know what I mean? Like they still have a profitable company. So what would be their motivation to sell that if they could only see, the upside?
Well, where are they going to go? That's what I
what
want
they
to know.
sell it for.
Where
Exactly.
will they go?
If they're escaping the
So you want to sell it in
devaluation,
fiat?
yeah. If they're escaping inflation, why would they voluntarily do that?
Exactly.
And as more people are adopting Bitcoin or investing in it and seeing it as more legitimate, whether or not, we've known it's legitimate for years now, but as the world keeps waking up to that, you're going to be able to be transacting much more in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies too.
Yeah.
So that brings us to this next article. PayPal CEO Schulman says he's bullish on Bitcoin as a currency, not just, or maybe not, as a store of value. This is something that we need to look into more. It is, this implication of this article is huge, not for the best. Let me tell you why. From what we know of PayPal's current terms and conditions for their users who want to invest or use Bitcoin on them, if you invest Bitcoin, if you buy Bitcoin on PayPal, you cannot withdraw that Bitcoin onto your own wallet that you control. You have to keep it within the PayPal ecosystem. That means most likely that these Bitcoin transactions most of them aren't going to be settled on chain. Think of like a centralized exchange. When you make trades, it's all within their private off-chain kind of database, really. And then when you make a withdrawal, that's when you have to wait for all the confirmations, because that's when you're actually making it settled on the blockchain. So PayPal probably thinks Bitcoin will be a great currency because they're not going to be relying on these block confirmations, on these scalability, on these transaction fees and scalability issues that Bitcoin is currently facing and will continue to face, especially as more people are going to be piling into it. So that's something to pay attention to, is when someone is, because the whole narrative of Bitcoin has changed like so many times over the decades. It went from, digital cash to whatever, to now it's like a store of value because of the transaction fees and the wait times and just it's really appreciating assetness of it. So for someone to come out like PayPal saying Bitcoin is a currency, they mean it will be a currency within their ecosystem because they're not going to be on-chain settlements. That means that's like where immutability and transparency comes from. And PayPal, not exactly known for those things. So really interesting to see how this develops. And it's also really interesting to see how these, big companies, they're really interested in Bitcoin, investing in it as their reserve asset, but also it's not far-fetched to think that they're going to want to go a step further and actually build something for blockchain technologies, or buy these other blockchain companies like wallet providers.
I think that's where it's coming, or where it's going.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
I mean, it's going to happen. Of course, they want a piece of the pie.
And these blockchain companies, they want to probably have some profit, right? They want to. Well, they're entrepreneurs, a lot of them.
But that's fine. There's going to be two different worlds. There's going to be those that choose the centralized on-ramp, off-ramp, and there's going to be those that choose, like us, the ones that are decentralized. There's going to be plenty of that. So let them have their cake. You know what I mean? Like, hey, fine, whatever. You can't fight the trend. This is obviously going to happen. They're not going to want to miss out on trillions of dollars, because we all know Bitcoin is going to have $1 trillion market cap. That's like, it's not even debatable right now. And Ethereum as well, $1 trillion market cap, of course. So that's, they're going to see that and they're going to want to profit. So let them.
I wonder if Satoshi or any of the cypherpunks really thought that this is where it would all go. If they really thought it would get this big, you know what I mean? And like the implications of that attention and, companies trying to profit off of it and interact with it and become a part of it and change it, really.
I think they did. For sure.
Really? You think like Satoshi didn't just like, send out the white paper to that email list, just be like, hey guys, what do you think of this? It's going to change the world and all that we know it.
The reason why I say that is because these were some of the smartest people on the planet.
Yeah.
And there's no competition when you have the smartest people on the planet working towards one goal.
But that was like the foundation of it, right? And now we're seeing other entities like PayPal, maybe even MicroStrategy, and like chain analysis and all these like data aggregators and collection and trying to track transactions, like, get their grubby little fingers in there. So it's interesting seeing how, everyone's trying to get a piece of it, and it's not necessarily going to propel the best, most honest thing, but
whatever.
There's always going to, I think, I agree with you though, there's always going to be people building the other side of it, because that's why it was created in the first place. So, right? Huh.
Dave G, I'm sorry, but the design on Heidi's shirt is really distracting.
Oh, sorry. Not much I can do about it now, guys.
Litecoin will take the currency means of transaction landscape. Bitcoin can have store value. Yeah, who knows? It's going to be interesting. You guys have an opinion on PaxG? Yeah, I think PaxG is a legitimate
stablecoin. Oh no, gold back
currency. I think it's like one of the most legitimate ones. For me, I'm not going to touch it because I think that there's going to be more profit made in other things like Ethereum.
Oh yeah, profit. But if you're trying to, for me, gold-backed crypto is like a stable coin that's not fiat. That for me is the main benefit of a gold-backed crypto. It's not for profits because you can't compare it really.
Toby, what are your thoughts? John Atkinson wrote, Toby, what are your thoughts on the new Bretton Woods? I think that, they're going to try to push it. We'll see, because there's a lot of like big money that likes the status quo, like that likes living the way they are right now. And they're not going to want to change to their way, these guys' way, because it really takes a lot of power away from big money, those big money. So yeah, it's going to be a war. This is an absolute war on people like us, people with big money, and people that are crazy psychopaths at like the World Economic Forum. These people are crazy. Like, I think, Heidi, you wrote the other day that on Twitter, you're like, what's the point of making all of this money in crypto?
Yeah.
But not be able to spend it because of government shutdowns, because of lockdowns, because you can't visit anybody anymore, because of, travel bubbles.
And with this new law with the World Economic Forum, with the private property, like getting rid of private property completely. I would love to see them try to do that, but anyway,
it's
an idea that they had.
We'll see. But right now is really the time to fight back, because we all know that this is not about a virus anymore. It's about control. And, Heidi and I have been saying this since the beginning, and we know exactly what's going to happen because we understand history. History always repeats. And there's some scary stuff. If we let them take over, it's over for humanity. I'm just letting you guys know. So you better fight back, like, without a doubt, with everything you have, because you have nothing to lose, but and everything to gain. So, because you're gonna lose it all anyways if you don't.
If you lose, you lose.
Yeah. So
you have a lot to lose.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So talking about these companies really integrating with cryptocurrencies, MicroStrategy was that one company that everyone loves in the crypto space because they pretty much went all in on Bitcoin. Now they're looking into. They're already like a tech company. So now they're looking into ways to kind of, I guess, explore data and analytics products for Bitcoin. That for me sounds just like chain analysis. I'm not so sure how they're going to be using that. But them being a centralized entity with that kind of information, that governments around the world are going to be very interested in the things that they have collected and studied. So to think that they're, he seems to be like this whole great Bitcoin cheerleader, Michael Saylor, but you don't know that he knows, what's up or really the potential of what he's building or the importance of that information. Probably not. So we'll have to see what they're doing. Obviously, they're interested. They're building a team for it, but they don't have anything yet.
I mean, this, like I said, the beginning with like Satoshi having the smartest people working for them. I mean, these people aren't going to go on the dark side. These people, the smartest guys,
they're fishing for them.
They're fishing. They're not going to survive. They're not going to make it because I personally know people that would never sell their soul to go ahead and do this. And they are some of the smartest, wicked smartest people out there. So no way. Like, no way they're going to work for that. So it's like, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you want to go ahead and try to, like, do a chain analysis on speed, go for it. It's going to... You're going to create something right here, a market right over here that's going to destroy that one.
Or a much more robust privacy protocol.
For sure.
That will be maybe implemented on a lot of different cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Who knows? That would be great. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered Bitcoin pretty well, what's happening there. Now let's pivot over to DeFi and what's happening in that crazy world. So Uniswap, we mentioned this last week, I believe, talking about how they had that incentive program ended, I believe, November 17th. And we were talking about, all that Ethereum, leaving that lockup period and being kind of like free onto the markets. Obviously, that didn't affect the price of Ethereum at all.
Did we call it or
not? It
hasn't
reached the price of 600 since May 2018.
Did we call it or not?
It's pretty good.
Yes.
And also there were people calling like there's going to be a lot of sell pressure, whatever, around the $530 mark, and it just skyrocketed.
All that pressure.
So it just goes to show these people really don't,
know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They'll just put it that way.
Yeah. So anyway, after that incentive program ended with Uniswap, they're actually seeing a lot of liquidity leaving the DEX. Uniswap was one of the really cool decentralized exchanges that had great liquidity because of these kind of these new ways to incentivize people to participate and get rewarded for providing liquidity for a decentralized exchange. But so now that particular period is over, 40% of the liquidity, or it drops by 40%. They had at one point $3.07 billion locked up just 3 days ago, and it now sits at 1.75 billion, and it's still falling. So basically, liquidity providers like Uniswap, they kind of judge their success or involvement rate based on the what the amount that is locked up. They call it TVL, total value locked, and it's dropping on Uniswap. But just like
whatever,
just like Sushi Swap, was a little bit of a vampire protocol. They're figuring out ways to benefit from that drop in Uniswap, but they're still behind, obviously. But it's interesting seeing these two kind of bounce off each other as always. But so that's what's happening with Uniswap. And similarly with these lending platforms like Compound, Aave, and MakerDAO, they judge their involvement or success based on the amount of loans that are taken or placed on their platform. There's $3 billion in outstanding crypto loans in DeFi. Outstanding loans usually means, people haven't paid it back. But when it comes to, when you're coming, loans with cryptocurrency right now, they nearly all require you to over collateralize your loan. So basically you have to deposit more of one coin value than the amount that you're actually going to take out a loan for, just so they can cover it. It's like a safety net, really, insurance plan that you're providing for yourself. And so when you're in a bull run, it's pretty easy. You're not going to get squeezed for your collateral. You're not going to get liquidated because it's appreciating in value. When it's the opposite side of that, when you're seeing dips in prices and your collateral drops in value compared to the coin that you took out a loan, then you need to pay more money into your collateral or you lose it altogether, which is not something that I don't think anyone should have their position to be in. But one thing with crypto loans is for those who are looking for loopholes or legal ways to reduce your tax implications, taking out a loan is a way to kind of access the liquidity or access the value of your crypto without losing your position in that crypto. You're not selling it. You're just tucking it aside and using other coins to do that. So it's really interesting, and it's not a taxable event, so that's kind of interesting. In fact, the interest that you pay on your loan is tax deductible. So if you're right on the line of one tax bracket or another, or having your tax bracket, then you can kind of maybe use that to even offset it. So you have Compound is the most popular, as always. Aave and MakerDAO are following up. But don't confuse that with security and guaranteedness and safety, because there is hacks happening all over in DeFi with their smart contracts. And for example, Pickle,
they reached out to you, didn't they? A week before.
Actually, like 3 days before this happened, I got an email. It was like a nice email from a community member saying, "Hey, just think you should know about it." I read about this. I feel bad.
I mean, like, this stuff happens. I mean, they're gonna learn about, okay, how did it get hacked, and the good ones are gonna go, okay, we're gonna learn from what other people had experienced, and then they're gonna fix their attack vectors. Because
it's a slow process, though.
Yeah, but it's good for the community, really. Like 20 million to fix, something that could cost way more than that in the future. So
yeah,
I mean that's the price to pay.
It's something that we talk about all the time, like the risks involved with this, and it's either like these. I don't know how Pickle was. Just
I heard it was actually pretty good.
It was an up and comer, but it's a ridiculous name.
Whatever.
But so, I don't know.
So is a loony. You know what I mean? Or the dong. Like, gosh, who calls our currency
the
that?
Vietnamese dong. Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh wait, what was the one in Tanzania? The kwacha.
The kwacha. Like, come on, it sounds like kracha.
Anyway.
Comes from there. I mean, it's worth that much.
Yeah.
Freaking central banks over there suck.
Yeah. But so anyway, I don't know if Pickle Finance was like a clone of a different platform, or if they built it themselves. Either way, there is so many bugs to be found, even in an established DeFi platform that's still running. There's still plenty of bugs to be found there. And so even if it's like a cloned version of that, they don't necessarily know the potential risks, or, maybe the bugs that were already addressed and they need to make similar adjustments. Or if they, kind of did their own thing, and at the same way, they're kind of trailblazing, and they're going to have things like this where someone was able to actually imitate the smart contract that this one has. I believe that's what happened. And they were able to drain their pickle jar for $20 million.
Clever.
Yeah, it is very clever. What? Oh, but so at the end here, someone actually has a really good point, is that security audits are a meme. The new audit will be having proper insurance coverage. So basically,
safe
our
too.
audits, even, they're great, but they're not really going to protect you, because they're certainly not a guarantee, but insurance could definitely be something to keep an eye on.
Insure and cover.
Because DeFi, I mean, there's been so many hacks on DeFi, but it's not going anywhere. There's still new platforms popping up. There's still people putting millions of dollars into this. Their Pickle Stats website reported nearly $75 million total value locked remaining on the books. So there's a lot of people in this brand new one after over a year of hacks happening on DeFi. So, I mean, yeah, for sure, any kind of an insurance situation for crypto could be definitely something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And this one, just talking about, again, blockchain.com and the people sending out scammy emails. I know there are some people mentioning Ledger in their emails in the live chat here, and that's because I believe it was Ledger and Trezor's database. Brad wants you to rant.
I mean, I'll have a good one coming up.
Yeah. Oh.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
So
we'll see when that video comes out. You'll be excited.
Yeah.
We're filming it ahead of time to put it on.
Yeah, we are filming ahead of time. Yes.
But yeah, so anyway, talking about the scammy emails coming out, blockchain.com is one, Ledger is one, because like I was saying, I believe it's Ledger and Trezor's user databases, not access to the cryptocurrency wallets. Those are completely handled by you, the user, individually as you set up your wallet. Ledger and Trezor don't have any kind of centralized database of how to gain your cryptocurrencies. But it was like things like names and emails. So Ledger has been getting a lot of scammy emails. If you are in the CT Club and you haven't checked it out yet, I did an article talking about phishing attacks, which is what these are, how to avoid them, how to identify them and stuff. So anyway, really helpful.
I'll end it with this.
Yeah.
Ryan, danger. World Economic Forum has predicted a pending cyber attack. Any thoughts? Yes, it's pending because they have it all planned out. They know exactly what they're going to do. And they have the Hegelian dialect. They have the problem, reaction, solution. These guys are so predictable. Oh my gosh. Like, they're not clever. They're really not clever. They're not even that smart. I mean, the good thing about like these guys at the World Economic Forum is they're part of government, right? They're part of trying to control everybody. So people like that usually aren't the most efficient people. And they're usually not the most clever people. Yeah, they might have some really good thoughts on how to, kill the population and, how to dumb down everybody and whatever. But they're hiring like really smart people to go ahead and do this. These people, they're pretty much directionless. They don't have any joy in life. They want to drag and kill you. And they're going to make you poor as hell, by, decreasing your value of your currency, whether it's, shoving you with a bunch of pharmaceutical drugs or poisonous vaccines that they want to shove down your throat and make it mandatory. These are the type of people that, these are the most miserable people. And I just hope they don't come to my hometown because they're not going to enjoy their time here. I'm going to end it on that one. Can't say too much.
Whoa.
Yeah. These guys piss me off.
Really quick, also, I just want to address Patrick McD. That was very powerful. I wanted to end on that. But he said, favorite DeFi website for beginners? None. We don't participate in DeFi because of all of the very high risks involved with the smart contracts. Like we just talked about with Pickle Finance. $20 million was lost. No one is getting that money back. It's gone. And it's not a centralized exchange where they have, again, this insurance fund where everyone gets repaid their crypto. It's gone. And so it is not something for a beginner who's like just trying to accumulate crypto, or, you're so desperate to stack your coins and get a good holding on some crypto. DeFi is not it. DeFi is where you go to speculate using coins that you can afford to lose.
And you can make a killing if
just
you choose
hold.
the right one. But you could just go into Ether. Ether takes the whole basket of DeFi and goes, all right, I'm just going to hold on to that. And, you put it on your ledger, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're good. How much do you really, I mean,
you can
maybe throw some dust. Throw some dust. That's what we've done with our Patreon group. We showed you okay.
Yeah, these are tiny
here
little coins
are
that we're
tiny little coins
on.
that we're speculating on. And some of them have done incredible. Some of them have done absolutely crap.
Yeah.
But I don't care because it's not like our main point.
Amount. Yeah, exactly. So there's different ways to kind of benefit from DeFi, whether it's speculating on the coin and participating on the platform is completely different territory, not for beginners. But anyway, I wanted to make sure I got that out. Thank you everyone for tuning into this live stream. We really appreciate it. Thank you
for the tips,
Josh.
Thanks, Pivotal.
Yes, Pivotal Point, you're awesome. Thank you so much.
And thank you for everybody. I really appreciate the questions. And
Brad and Josh, you guys did great. You got them going.
I'll try to rant a little bit, but if I go on too much, it's just I'm gonna be like Max Kaiser. To start screaming at the microphone.
And I'll just
These are our conversations, how they are occasionally.
Yeah.
We
go for walks and we just get it out.
And we actually were like, why don't we do a podcast on our walks? Some of the stuff we talk about is just way out there. It's really great.
We'll just have to mic ourselves next time.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, I think the NSA does that anyway for us.
We'll just tap into the NSA database and get all of our conversations.
See you guys.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys soon. Have a good one.